Not sure if anyone else is live at the moment, but as per usual, I figured I would throw a stream up. Really? Is that right, Diz? Hey, Hunter Stuff. Hello, TV. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I am here. Meow. Yeah. You tell everyone. You tell everyone all about it, dears. You tell them. No. Why do you do that, Disney? What meow? As soon as I'm doing something, mate, every time without fail. Every time. You know. You tell everyone how unfair it is that I don't know exactly what I'm doing when I'm doing it. Hmm? You gonna tell everyone your outrage? Hmm? Should be a crime? Shouldn't it, Diz? So yeah, I don't get it. I'm good. How are you? How's your day been, hunt and stuff? Are you okay? You're windy. Good? Yeah. Alright. So I went to the library today and tried to get some shorter stories. I'm like, well, you know, Australian authors or like Australian stories or, you know, something a bit different. And I think something that's going to be a bit easier for me to speak. Because it's all like Aussie colloquialisms and stuff. So I don't know if any of these are like, I don't know. I haven't really looked at them yet. Oh, so this one is like kids' stories by like an Australian comedian, and actually I think they all are comedians. They seem familiar, but they're all like kids' stories. So this is pretty cool. Hey mate, good to see you. Thank you for stopping in on your way to bed. Well, I hope you have a good night. What time is it for everyone? The next door to the librarian's for 19 years. Haven't been in it once, really? Wow. I was actually really impressed today because our one, at least this side of the city, is only one of 2 libraries that has its own recording studio. And he took me down there and showed me and everything. Like, it's fucking decked out, man. Like, people go in there and they sing and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah. They have like a 101 course, like a crash course in how to do all sorts of stuff. So I'm gonna look into it a little bit more. I think, you know, at least learning some basic. Yeah, it's all free. It's library, so you can go there it's like a library computer. So you can go in there, and you book that space. I guess they'd be for an hour or so, or you'd book your slots, and yeah. You just get to, they give you a little swipe card and you can go down there and use the space. It's got almost everything you would need. There's all sorts of stuff down there. And there's more stuff that you can actually like hire as well while you're there. So they have all sorts of equipment and I guess maybe instruments and stuff as well. Yeah, so I'm going to look into some of this stuff a bit more. I think it could be interesting. Isn't it cool? They I think they put a little bit of funding into into a couple of the libraries to really give them a makeover. Like there's an art gallery, there's a gallery and everything. So, you know, artists and whatnot can hire the space. That's what he was saying. So the other thing, the gallery space has been empty. Guess what's going to be in there? There's going to be a Mad Max exhibit. So I want to go and take you guys to the Mad Max exhibit. So I think it opens on next Friday. Oh my god, it's so cool. I'm really looking forward to it. The guy was gushing about that. I'm like, oh yeah, sick cars. He's been watching him bring everything in. Yeah, so, and even part of there's all sorts of stuff going on in there. So the stairs that you take to go downstairs to the recording studio, it's an auditorium as well. So it's got floor to ceiling window panels that I guess open up, and the space turns into an auditorium. Like indoor, outdoor. It's so cool. I didn't even know it was there. Yeah, you can walk past something a million times and not notice. Yeah. So I might have to take you guys in there and show you around a little bit. I wonder if it's haunted. I don't know. It's not it doesn't seem like a very old building, but it could be. It could be haunted. It's only open Monday afternoon, I think, just in summer. What's that, your library? I think it would be open more than that. Yeah, so I bought a whole heap of I got a whole heap of smaller books with like shorter stories in them to read to you guys. Lazy librarians. So these are all like Australian fiction. So they do them every year, I guess. So this is 2020. This one's 2023. This one is this year's. Yeah. So I'm not sure about this one. I did read a couple of the stories and I couldn't make sense of them. And I think it would just confuse people. And this one is a raunchy one, so this is like an after dark. It's all, I don't know, suggestive. I don't read books if it don't got pictures. Well, that's why I thought, you know, I could read to people. So it's different ones. It's Australian love stories. And they're not that, but they seem to be kind of suggestive or but they're unique. I don't read books if it don't got pictures. Read the nasty book. I could go back to the library and get some smutty books for you. Firm as anchors, wet as fishes. Henry and Justine are lying in bed on their side like two mismatched but snug-fitting spoons. He's still inside her and... No. I'm not reading this. It's not even dark yet. My middle name is Smart. Yeah. Yes. It's getting there. Continue. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just interested. Like, this one is about the chick. Okay, so a married couple, and it starts out with them just having had sex, and then she tells him that she has chlamydia, and he's like, well, how does that happen? She's like, well, I only have one partner. We're interested too. Yeah, it's something. Smart. Well, they're just talking about taking the medication for the chlamydia. It's pretty gross. Yeah, exactly. I get a couples project. And now but there's another one, so he's been sleeping around on her. And she's like, well, you've got to tell her. This is what you get for marrying an asshole. One step closer to super bug resistance. Okay, so she's... That's weird, okay. It just kind of petered out. That was weird. No, I'm actually going to do a proper reading stream. This is not that stream. Nightmare horror story, literally things make me want. So this is going to be an interesting couple of reads, I reckon. I am being shellfish. Okay. Good for you, buddy. You can do that. And right up there, there's a little counter up there. If you want to hit the 3 dots and go and hit the thumbs up button or double tap your screen, I'd appreciate that too. So I might have to go back tomorrow. I'm not sure about these. I've got to have a quick flick through these ones as well. This should be okay, actually. And look, Funk, it's got pictures. It was a Tuesday, 10:37 a.m., 9th of July. 7 Main Street, Flowering Plumtown, Billy's General Store. Metal sign, patches of rust. I'd say 16% of the sign is rust. Door wouldn't open. Hold up, says Dad. Are they closed? When we came here 2 days ago, I told him, Billy seemed sick. Coughed like a hacksaw, sneezed 8 times, blew his nose. The snot was greenish, little flecks of... All right, Frankie, thanks for that. Dad gave the door another rattle. I've never known Billy to close up for illness. The door's swollen up from the cold, more likely. Good point. The temperature was 6 below zero. Flower in Plumtown was in the midst of its coldest winter ever. The night before, a blizzard had dumped 3 meters of snow. Dad and I had used our breakfast bowls to shovel out the front door. The shovel was locked up in the shed. Grandma had hooted about that and tried to help by shoveling with salad servers. No school today. On 3, my dad said now. 1, 2, shove! The door flew open. We tumbled in. Knocked over the umbrella stand. We righted the umbrella stand and pulled each other up. Dad slipped on a patch of melted snow and went back down. I pulled him up again. We brushed ourselves down. Very graceful, said a voice. I enjoyed that. A woman was grinning at us from behind the counter. Not fat, cranky Billy Blacksheep, but a woman. Fairly short, hair like hot chocolate, dimples. Ha ha, said Dad, and then he stopped, stared. Breathed in deep. Barbara Blacksheep, he said, as I live and breathe. He meant he was surprised to see her. The woman's dimples disappeared, a little frown, like a scribble on her forehead. Then the dimples jumped back and, Joey Parada, she cried. Barbara Blacksheep, Dad shouted. It's you! Barbara beamed, happy to hear it was her. Dad thwacked the back of my head, so I stumbled a bit. Frankie said, this is Barbara Blacksheep. It's not, I said. It is, he insisted, missing my joke. Barbara is Billy's daughter. She was in my class at school. Ran away to travel the world and I've not seen her since. I'm not reading the dirty one, Act Funk. See, that one's here and that one's gone on a different stream. Back now, got in yesterday. My father had the flu, so I offered to mind the store. Told you, I said. Remember I said about the colour of Billy's snot? Dad wasn't listening. He was straightening his shoulders. Uh-oh, I thought. Here we go. Barbara, said Dad, it's truly a... Well, I never imagined, shall we have a coffee one day? But allow me to introduce my 12-year-old daughter, Frances. She is informally known as, in familiar circles, that is to say, Frances's nickname is Frankie, I suggested. Yes, affirmative. Thank you, Frankie. Just as I suspected, Dad liked Barbara. When he likes somebody, Dad forgets how to be a person. He talks like the Queen with a fever. Pleased to meet you, Frankie, Barbara said. Well, Joey Parada, coffee sounds great. Soon. But how can I help you today? At this point, the door opened again. In stepped a man, smooth as butter. Gabe Buckles. Big guy. Runs the junkyard. Stud in his left ear. Tattoos. Hello, hello, he said. Ray of sunshine behind the counter, I see. Barbara, isn't it? I remember you from school. Got any rope? Behind the counter, Barbara Blacksheep blinked. Little pink spots jumped to her cheeks. I'm sorry, she said. We've sold out of rope. Ah, well, Gabe Buckles said. I won't hold it against you. Barbara giggled. Dad frowned. I wish to inquire whether, that is to say, I'm curious to know if... Got any string? Gabe Buckles called. He was wandering the aisles of the store, boots stomping. So sorry, Barbara called back. We've sold out of that too. Is that so? Gabe Buckles smiled. You know, I might hold that against you. Barbara chuckled. Now then, Dad tried again. The town is holding a knit-a-thon to raise money for new heating for the school. As the weather has been so, that is to say, it has been so inordinately cold, I prompted. Quite. And I thought, as my contribution, that I might knit. You see, my elderly mother has been chilly lately, especially about this area. He waved his hands hopelessly. Good night, Aquafunk. Neck, I said. Yes, so I intend to knit her, that is to say, scarf, I put in. Quite. Therefore, Barbara Blacksheep, I wish to inquire whether the store, now whether they are shorn sheep produce, I wonder whether you might got any wool. Gabe Buckles asked. His big black boots clumped up to us. His leather jacket elbows leaned on the counter. Yes, sir, Barbara exclaimed. Indeed we do. She reached up to a shelf behind her and plonked 1, 2, 3 bags onto the counter. 3 bags full of the stuff, she said proudly. 1 orange, 1 purple, 1 blue. Oh, said Dad, what a remarkable coincidence. That's exactly what I was... You're participating in the knit-a-thon too then, Gabe? That is, well, 3 bags, plenty for both of us. You choose first. Gabe Buckles studies the bags of wool. I'll take this one, he says, picking up the orange wool. Ah, then, Dad nodded. Purple or blue for me? It's for Jack Chin, Gabe Buckles explained. Poor old Jack has a very cold head. I'm knitting him a woolen hat. Oh, said Barbara, that's sweet of you. Little pom-pom on the top. Oh, said Barbara. And this one, Gabe continued, sweeping up the purple bag, is for Rachel Klein. Righto, Dad said, blue for me. Poor old Rachel has very cold fingers, Gabe Buckles said. I'm knitting her woolen gloves. Ooh, bright sparks appeared in Barbara's eyes. So thoughtful. And this one, Gabe Buckles plucked the 3rd bag, the blue wool from under Dad's hand. This is for little Toby Williamson. We waited to hear what part of Toby was cold. Toby's very sad because his parents are going away on a business trip this weekend, so I thought I would knit him. He paused, melting snow dripping from all our boots onto the floor. Drip, drip, drip. A teeny little jacket, Gabe said at last, for his teddy bear. To cheer him up, Barbara whispered. To cheer him up, Gabe agreed. That, said Barbara, is the most adorable thing I've ever heard. Oh dear, you've made me cry. She wiped away her tears. Gabe took out his wallet. How much? I couldn't charge you, Barbara cried. I insist, Gabe said. No, sir. Gabe put his wallet away. Tell you what, Barbara, he said, this weekend I'm off on a luxury holiday to the Isle of Emerald Stars. You heard of it? Barbara shook her head. Dad and I nodded. The Isle of Emerald Stars is on our vision board. A vision board is where you pin up pictures of your impossible hopes and dreams. We're saving for a holiday there. At our current rate of saving, we will get there in 783 years, 2 months, 4 days, and 7 hours. The sun always shines on the Isle of Emerald Stars, I said. The sand is soft and shimmering. That's the place, Gabe nodded. He tucked the 3 bags of wool into his pockets. And to thank you for these, I'll take you along with me. To the Isle of Emerald Stars, squawked Dad. Not you, Joey. I'm talking to Barbara here. What do you say, Barbara? Oh, Gabe, Barbara smiled. You're funny. Gabe shook his head. Deadly serious, he said. Then he saluted Barbara, swung around and marched out of the store. Oh my, said Barbara, her face pink. She looked back at Dad. Now what can I help you with, Joey? Was it a carton of milk? Yes, Dad said quietly. Milk. Funny thing happened the next day, Wednesday, 3:37 p.m. 11 Segway Road, Flowering Plum Town. The Hairy Chin Dojo. A freshly painted sign. Splatters of bird poop. I'd say the sign is 12% bird poop. Hey there, Frankie. Where you been? Where you heading? Jack Chin, master of the local karate dojo, 83 years old, bald. Standing in his doorway, glass of Coke in his hand. Hey there, Jack, I said, slowing down. Been at school, heading home. Makes sense, Jack took a swig of his Coke. Ice cubes clinked. Bit cold for ice, isn't it? I asked. Oh, Frankie, he said, I love the cold, gets my blood pumping. The wind on my bald head is like a song. A song? Jack Chin nodded. You don't have a cold head, I checked? Not in the least. My head is always overheated. Too much thinking. Too much shouting at your students, more like, I told him. See you at karate, Jack. I headed off. At home, I unravelled my school jumper and gave the wool to Dad. Look what I found, I said. Blue wool, back of my closet. Dad gave me a high five and got out his knitting needles. Strange thing happened the day after that. Thursday, 8:03 a.m. 7A Yarndy Avenue, Flowering Plumtown. Dame Rachel Klein's scrumptious and delicious, magnificent meatball restaurant. Sign is many nailed together pieces of wood because the restaurant name is too long. I'd say about 82% too long. Morning, Frankie. I looked down. Morning, Rachel. What are you doing sitting in the snow? Dame Rachel Klein, 83 years old, meatball chef, knight. Rachel is Dame Rachel because she's a knight. Male knights you call sir. Female knights are dame. When I found out Rachel had been made into a knight, I was excited. Thought it meant she'd started having sword fights with dragons. But no. The Queen had made her a knight for her service to the excellence of pork and rosemary meatballs. It's true, she's a killer cook. I'm building a snowman, Rachel told me now. I looked at her hands, no gloves. Your hands must be cold, I said. You bet, that's the point. Rachel said, colder my hands, the better my meatballs. I never wear gloves. Never? Rachel shook her head. Never. Carry on then, I said, nodding at her snowman. I headed to school. I was wearing a candied pink Christmas cardigan. Lost my school jumper, I explained to the teacher. She replied. That afternoon, I unravelled the rug on my bedroom floor and gave the wool to Dad. Look, Dad, I said, purple wool. Found it in the back of my drawers. Dad gave me a fist bump and grabbed up his knitting again. Curious thing happened the following day, Friday, 4:17 p.m. Top of Pistachio Lane, a single blue gum tree. Trunk, branches, bark, leaves and roots, I'd say about 100% true. I was heading home from karate when I spotted a kid with pointy out ears dragging a couple of sleds. Little Toby Williamson, 6 years old. Lives in the mansion down Pistachio Lane. Tennis court, swimming pool, helicopter, landing pad. Hey there, Toby, I said. 2 sleds, I see. One for me, Toby said. One for me teddy bear. One of the sleds was small. Teddy was strapped to it, covered in a gold silk blanket. Your parents going away this weekend, I asked. Yeah, Toby climbed into his sled. They leave soon. You must be sad about that. Toby stared up at me. Are you kidding? Grandpa Chin's coming over to look after me and he's bringing Rachel. Jack Chin, master of the local karate dojo, is Toby's grandpa. Dame Rachel Klein, meatball chef, is Jack Chin's girlfriend. Grandpa's going to teach me cool karate moves. Rachel's going to make me yummy meatballs. And then we'll sit in the living room and they'll both fall asleep and I'll watch TV all night. Whee! The kid flew down the lane on his sled. His teddy bear zoomed and bumped behind him. Both sleds glinted, diamond crusted. That night I was having tea with Grandma in the kitchen. Dad was in the living room knitting. Grandma, I said, I'll be straight with you. I want to unravel your tea cozy. Grandma looked surprised and she looked at a teapot. It wore a bright orange tea cozy. You know that Dad is knitting you a scarf, yes? Yes, Grandma agreed. Isn't it more important that your neck be warm than that teapot? Grandma frowned. But your dad's scarf is already very long, Frankie, and I do like hot tea. Grandma, I said, Dad wants to win a knit-a-thon. He wants to impress Barbara Blacksheep. We both looked up at the vision board. Dad had pinned a photo of Barbara there, along with our other impossible hopes and dreams. Gabe Buckles, I continued, bought 3 bags of wool. He's knitting a hat, gloves, and a little jacket for a teddy bear. Dad's going to have to knit an extremely long scarf to compete with that. Grandma nodded. I see your point. Go on then, take the tea cozy. I did. Can't think how Gabe would have paid for 3 bags of wool, Grandma complained as I unravelled her cozy. You know the bank just reclaimed his junkyard. He couldn't afford to pay his bills. Terrible with money, that one. In the living room, I handed Dad the orange wool. Found it in the back of the pantry, I told him. Dad gave me a giant hug and hurried back to his knitting. Later that night, I was doing homework in my room. It was maths. Easy. I was thinking about other things. 380 plus 120 is 500. It was a cold night. Lucky Gabe Buckles going to the Isle of Emerald Stars tomorrow. He'd be swimming, snorkeling, sailing, not shivering like me. 40 by 20 equals 800. Got any rope? Gabe had said when he came into the store. Why did he need rope? Maybe for sailing. Sailors use ropes. 0.5 by 900 equals 450. Got any string? Gabe had asked next. What was the string for? Maybe he needed to tie up his luggage? 12 by 12 is 144. Got any wool? He'd asked last. 3 bags full, Barbara Blacksheep had replied. At least I knew what the wool was for. One was for Master Chin, for his very cold head, which is actually not cold. Funny. One for Dame Rachel, for her very cold hands, which she wants to be cold. Strange. And one for little Toby down Pistachio Lane, for his very sad heart, which he does not have because he's happy. Curious. 111 plus 222 equals 333. Can't think how Gabe Buckles even paid for 3 bags of wool, Grandma had complained. Come to think of it, how was he paying for his luxury trip to the Isle of Emerald Stars? Of course, Gabe hadn't paid for 3 bags of wool. Barbara Blacksheep had given them to him. One for the master, one for the dame, and one for the little boy who lives down. I knocked my chair to the floor, grabbed my coat, ran past Dad in the living room, threw open the front door, tore outside into the moonlight, pelted into the town, skidded along Main Street, flew onto Segway Road, hurtled down Yarndy Avenue, stumbled and tripped along Pistachio Lane, reached Toby Williamson's mansion, clambered over the high wall, fell flat on my face in the snow. There was the house. Mostly dark, lights on in a front room. Rushed to the front porch and stopped, panting like mad, had to calm down. Shh, I told myself. My breath quietened. I crept along the porch, past the stone lions, reached the lit room, slunk down low. Peeped in through the window. Living room, couches, TV, desk with a computer, lamps. In one couch, Jack Chin, fast asleep, tied up in orange wool. In another couch, Rachel Klein, fast asleep, tied up in purple wool. On the carpet, little Toby Williamson, wide awake and staring, hanky wrapped around his mouth, tied up in blue wool. At the desk, Gabe Buckles. He was scribbling a note. I squinted at the paper. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Williamson, I've kidnapped your son, Toby. If you transfer $1 billion to my bank account, I will return him. Account details follow. Yours truly, a kidnapper. Gabe turned around and reached for little Toby. I threw my arms around the nearest stone lion, wrenched it up, and smashed the window. Gabe dropped Toby. Jack and Rachel woke. Hey, cried Jack. Oi, yelled Rachel. The two of them wriggled their woolen bindings, Gabe Buckles lunged for Toby again. I clambered in through the broken window, jumped across the shards of glass, and delivered a flying sidekick to Gabe's belly. Jack Chin had taught me that. Jack Chin had taught me how. Gabe stumbled backwards, groaning. I looked around. A frying pan, one leftover meatball at the edge, sat on the sideboard. I grabbed the pan and whacked Gabe on the head, knocked him out cold. The rest of the story you can probably guess. I untied Jack Chin, Rachel Klein, and little Toby. Jack Chin gave me a high five, Rachel Klein gave me a fist bump, and little Toby gave me a hug. Between us, we dragged unconscious Gabe Buckles onto Toby's sled, tied him up with orange, purple, and blue wool, and slid him along to the police station. The next day, Dad won the knit-a-thon with the longest scarf ever knitted in Flowering Plum Town. Everyone was buzzing about the long scarf. Also about the almost kidnapping. Barbara Blacksheep cried because Dad's scarf was so beautiful and it was so thoughtful of him knitting it for Grandma. Also because she blamed herself for having given Gabe the wool. I'm an accessory, she said, to the crime. I told her that was nonsense. Dad agreed. He invited her out for coffee to cheer her up. She agreed. It's now Saturday, 2:30 p.m., 27th of July. Gold Sparkle Beach, the Isle of Emerald Stars. Palm trees, beach towels, 117% beautiful. I'm wearing a swimsuit and flippers. Grandma's in the deck chair. Dad is snorkeling with Barbara Blacksheep. We are on an all-expenses luxury trip, a reward from Toby Williamson's parents to thank me for saving their son, and $1 billion. Now and then I do a bit of knitting. Blue, orange, and purple covers. I'm making for all the bars of Gabe Buckles' jail cell. So there you go. That was an Australian story. Hi, Bill. Team Detritus. Wow, shit, is that Terry? Hello, Terry. Hey, Dr. Phil. Good afternoon. Decided I've been reading like Australian stories. So I went to the library today. And I'm like, okay, I want like Aussie kind of stories, possibly Australian authors, or like got one of your own to make. When are you going live? I keep missing your lives and it shits me. I've been going for almost an hour, so I'm happy to end it. Pretty soon I need, oh yes, I'm gonna. I had enough sun yesterday, I gave myself heat stroke. I was so yesterday. So I decided to stay home as much as possible today. I only went out once. Sun for the opal? Yeah. Absolutely. You need to be able to see. Oh, I like hanging out in your streams, Phil. You're entertaining and informational and I'm learning things. If you have a time that you're going, let me know. One of my mates sold me stuff from his mine. Ooh. I like how that blue one turned out. It's got that weird, like, it's not a crack, is it a crack or is it just an irregularity in it? It turned out so nice. Sold me stuff from his mom. I'm promoting his stuff. I think so. I don't know. I was watching it this morning or something. I can't remember. It was a recent one. That's exciting though. Man, I would be living my best life just going through a bag of that stuff. Could be a crack, hard to tell. The opal is... Oh, okay. So it's like inside it. That's cool. Yeah. Alrighty, well, you let me know whenever you're ready to go, Phil, and I'll send everyone over to you. Till then, we can hang out and look how clean my fish tank looks now. Anyone who saw my fish tank probably, even like a month ago, 2 months ago, knew what I was struggling with in this. And now look like it's looking so clean. The snails are really doing their job. All of the pots in the back corner there are like spotless clean. There's still some algae on the cave over here, but I think they'll make light work of that. Even the plants are looking cleaner. You know, and that's what snails do. They're part of that ecosystem. It's not a problem, no. Like, I was happy to just kind of watch it do its thing and evolve. But now, like, I'm seeing every morning I look at all of that driftwood, and part of the driftwood has been cleaned away, and like more and more of it is clearing up, and it's looking really good. Have God's own lighting system, yeah. I do get the sun coming through as well, so I'll open up that curtain sometimes, and it sort of starts with the lower fish tanks and it moves across the wall. So I just kind of move, it moves across. Everyone kind of gets a little bit of sun. I need to get in there and clean out some poop, actually. Move a couple of those plants around. You're begging for something to grow on it. Grow on what? Oh, the light, yeah. It's not very often, like, I do get full sun coming in that window, but I don't have the curtain open. It's not all the time. Quite often if I have, I'll keep the lights off for the day or a couple of days, and then I'll just have the natural light come in, so it's not all day, all night. I'm actually using my lights less at the moment. I only turn them on at like, what's the time now? It was only like 11 or 12 or something. So I'm trying to use less power. I'm trying to give them less light to maybe solve the algae problem. I do have the snails. So I've got the snails in this tank and then one of the little 5 gallons. Like, they've just gone absolutely ballistic in this tank, which is amazing. It looks so good. Oh. Yeah, algae, gross. But it's all natural. Oh boy. I'm gonna pull some of this Yeah. Oh, look, I've got my tripod, so I've just set it up and... Guppies. Little guppies. He's a pretty one. They're little muck guppies, really. Looks like I've got to pull one out. I've got to pull a couple out. What the fuck? What's going on? I just had Java fern. Oh, wow. Really? Yeah, knowing my luck, I'd kill it too. Alright, well, can't be killed. I'm usually good with plants. Yeah. Oh, I'll show you what I did today. First time ever doing this too, so I'm really nervous. I pruned my my jade. I might have to prune it back a bit more actually. I wanna take this off. I need to snip that one off. And I'm thinking about getting rid of these two as well. But I'm keeping a couple of them. And keep them, like put them in little pots and give them away for Christmas. Because jade is like, it's a money plant. It's a symbol of good luck. Oh, that's the story anyway. So hopefully now I've trimmed it a little bit. And I'm not going to water it, like it's dry, so I don't know why it's so soft. So a friend died and left one to me. Yeah, I love them. I've got felt bushes as well. This little guy. I got more out here as well. I really want some spider plants. Yeah. Ferns. I got a big felt bush. Got chili. And others that I don't even know what they are. I used to water them, but not with much water. Yeah. Oh, I don't, so I have like a little squirty bottle, so once or twice a week I give them a little spritz. But not to the point of soaking. It's mainly just for like these little guys. Little babies. Consider taking a bucket out of it. Yeah, I do. Yeah, every so often I do. Whenever I do all my water changes. Which may be this afternoon because I've got deaths. Come here. You're fucked. You're almost fucked, but I don't want to let you... I don't want to take you out yet. But you're definitely fucked. Oh! Come here. I don't do it every day. I do it never. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do mine every week. I try. Usually I'll stretch it out to every 2 weeks. Don't judge me. Some people are like, oh, you gotta freeze them. No, that's unnecessary. What are you doing, Diz? Lemmy pine. Oh no. How did you manage that? Aren't pine trees like super hardy? How did you manage that? Really? Are you gonna salt too? Damn it. What's wrong with you, mate? You're just salting. You good? So about 200 million years, but not me. Oh no. Oh no. That's horrible. Oh, Dizzy, nice. No worries, Phil. Well, yeah, no worries. You go and do that. I'll wrap things up here and I'll go and see you over at yours. Thanks for hanging out for a while and talking all sorts of stuff with me. Thank you to everyone who's been here for the last hour and a little bit and listened to me ramble and read stories and hung out and hit that thumbs up button. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. All of this interaction really helps my channel more than you know. And I'm always grateful for every single one of you. Better head off now. Dr. Phil. I'm not sure if you're even able to post a link or if anyone can post a link. I'm in vertical, so I don't think it matters. Anyone watching this after the fact, head on over to Dr. Phil's channel, go and join him, subscribe to his channel and watch his content. He's good people, he's a public servant, he has a love of opals and birds, and it's always a good time hanging out in his chat, so yeah, please go and support. And if you do come across people that you're not subscribed to here in my channel, like go and cross-pollinate each other's channels. It's what we're here for. It's community. You know, it's not all about me, which is funny because it's my channel. Just going to give him a few minutes here and get sorted, and we'll head on over. But thanks for being here, everyone. it's had me in top messages the whole time. I'm sorry, guys. Alrighty. Well, on that note, go and subscribe to Dr. Phil. Please, go and give him a thumbs up and a subscribe, and go and comment on one of his videos. He's good people, and definitely one of my new favorite subscribers here. Absolutely, always a good time. Nice, friendly family fun, and yeah, good place to be. Take care, everyone. I will see you over at Phil's. Stay cool, stay hydrated in this heat, stay warm in the States, and I'll see you next time. Bye.